Okay. Yay. Hello. It's May 27th, the day after Memorial Day weekend, which is always kind of busy. I feel like a little bit because you're like so relaxed on Monday and then all of a sudden it's like boom, everything is on
Mhm.
Tuesday. So, all right,
Yeah.
let me read the words of wisdom really quick and then we'll say a quick prayer and do a little reco and get going. So, for May 27th in the Mary Kay Words of Wisdom, it's on leadership. It says, when Caesar went into battle, he wore a bright red cape. General Patton revered Caesar, so he painted his tank bright red for his World War II campaigns. Both of these men demonstrated great leadership. They risked their own lives and inspired their troops to follow them. They did what leaders are supposed to do. They led. Now, I don't know about the red, but I guess that goes with red jackets. So I don't know. Red is my favorite color, but after meeting with Miranda, it's not really my best color to wear. It has to be kind of a warmy red, but I do really like red. And so, anyway, okay, let's say a real quick prayer and then we'll get going. Lord, we just thank you for this evening. I thank you for all these ladies that are present here and those that are in our unit that maybe just can't be on tonight. Lord, do we just ask that this time be productive for everyone here? Just help us to be able to communicate clearly with each other so that we can help and guide each other. And Lord, we do continue to lift up Laura's granddaughter, Addie, just for healing and for wisdom for the doctors for the best treatment for her. It still doesn't seem to be like a definite diagnosis. So, Lord, we just pray for clarity on all of that. We do continue to pray for Cindy Venables, a grandchild that will be born here in a couple of weeks. They're concerned a little bit about a heart issue, Lord, and so we just pray that they can't really tell, and we just pray that they're wrong and that there's nothing wrong, and that baby will be born completely healthy with no need for surgery or anything like that. And Lord, we just ask that you guide us in our lives every day, in our businesses, but also just in everything. Lord, we want to please you and do your will. It's in your name and we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. Um, all right. Somebody put I love purple. I was like, I didn't see it. It just kind of came across. Oh, Christy, I love purple. Okay. Yay. Yeah. Well, purple is good. And I think I can wear, I need to get my little color card. I ordered like a little color thing for Miranda that told me like which colors I was supposed to be wearing. Sorry, my screen is going crazy. Okay. I really quick, I had an accomplishment sheet from Debbie. So Debbie had a $115 week. So yay, Debbie. Good for you. And y'all definitely keep me posted if you have any brand new, like if those were sales from a brand new customer. I did get, it was one of them, Debbie. Okay, a new customer. Okay, I'm gonna add that. That's exciting. Congratulations on a new customer. Um, I got a couple of new customers Saturday too that I facialed and I rebooked them, so we'll see how that goes. But they bought a little bit. I really wanted them to buy a skincare set, and they didn't yet. But we'll see what happens with that. So, yay! Well, congratulations, Debbie. Thank you for turning that in. And I wanted to let y'all know. I don't think I brought my calendar over here, guys. I am going to redo all the new consultant training because they are making me delete a lot of my Zoom recordings anyway because it's taking up too much space. And so I want them to be rehoused anyway on YouTube. And I think it's time for a refresher because it's been a year since I did those. And so I am going to do 4, and I'm going to do them on Sunday nights. Really in the month of June. I'm not doing Father's Day weekend, but I will do them. I'll post those dates. So if you guys have any new consultants that you want to put on that, it'll be on my Zoom number, but then I'll store them on YouTube. And I'm going to keep them at less than an hour. And then I'm going to try to do it in four Sunday evenings. And so I think if you look at the calendar, which I don't even have, let's see. I'll post them on our group, but just so you guys know, for those of you that either want to participate or want to put a consultant in them, it'll be June 1st June 8th, June 22nd, and June 29th. And I think that I had planned on doing them like at 6 p.m., I think, Central Time. So I think that's the plan. And so anyway, that's going to happen in June because I know we have some new people that want to plug into that. And then the other thing I wanted to tell y'all to make sure we talked about it last week, and I worked with Roxy a little bit today, but this is our flyer for the Epic Week, which I will post in our group. Our Epic Week will be June 7th through the 14th. Doesn't mean you have to wait till June 7th, to do an Epic Week. But if you want to participate in this way, there are several directors and their units that are going to be participating, and they're going to track the total number of sales tickets that you have. So you could have a $250 order on one person and $10 order on the next, doesn't matter, but we're tracking the number of sales tickets. So we're kind of looking at how many different people can we sell to during this week, in the total number of new agreements and the number of new faces that you do that you get sales from that. So those are the three things we're going to track. And then there's going to be a Google Doc that you can just fill out that has to be turned in by June 21st. And we're going to do recognition on social media collectively with all the consultants and directors. We may separate directors from consultants. I think that's kind of what they did last year. But then I will prize people too, for whoever is, is our top ones in our unit. So that's that week. And then during that week, we will have our event, which this flyer is probably going to get updated tomorrow. Oh, it says nothing to show here. Let me try that again. It like went away. Okay, well, it's going to get updated tomorrow. Anyway, it is the flyer for the event, which is June 10th, Tuesday, June 10th at 7:30 Central PM. It's on Roxy's Zoom number though. So that's the new Zoom number that's on the flyer. But Kathy bought the gifts today. So we're going to go back and add what those, okay, Jody, I'm looking at your question. Let me make sure I understand what you're saying. The sales and tickets are the week of June, not set around our June sale, right? Yes, I think if I understand what you're asking me, are you saying?
What I'm asking is that the group, the big thing that y'all are doing as a group or as an area is that week.
It's the 7th through the 14th, yes.
So,
Saturday through Saturday.
So if you decide to do your big June sale, the 1st through the 6th, those tickets and those faces and everything do not count. It's only what you do the 7th through the 13th.
Yeah, because it's so many of us doing it all together. But it's what's most important to you. If you're like, you know what, a different week is better for me. If it's before it, I could probably count it. If it's after, I can't. But if you choose the 1st through the 7th, you could probably get those numbers in and count them. Because they just have to be turned in by the
clarification on that, and I think it needs to be clarified that it's not that you can't go and do it the 31st through whatever, or if you can, I think I just myself personally think that
it's totally up to you, but okay. Really collectively we're trying to do it the 7th through the 14th, and that's the numbers we really want you to turn in, is just for those 7 days so that it's fair,
right?
So everybody is, but if you're like, I don't really care about the reco and I want to do it on my own, do it on your own. But if you want the reco and you want to be part of the group, then you do it the 7th through the 14th. Is that what you're asking me?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So count for those 7. Oh, Christy. Yes, we're doing it at 7. We're doing it at 7 p.m. tonight. After this, yes. Is that what you're asking me? I'm sorry. I'm trying to read y'all's comments and make sure I'm answering them.
I have a comment.
We can't hear you. I'm sorry. I think because you're driving, I can't, it's like you're cutting out. But we are doing the 8 things at 7 p.m. tonight after this is over. Is that what you're asking me? Okay. All right. So we're good. Are we good? Everybody's good?
Well, I have a comment.
Okay.
I feel like, say Jody does her sale the 1st through the 7th or a week ahead of time, and she has a killer week, and she's not necessarily going to do it for a 2-week period. I feel like if her results are really good, she should turn them in as if she ran her sale that second week. I may be doing.
See, I
the same
disagree.
thing.
I disagree. I don't, if you have,
Really,
yeah. But that's why I said it's up to
Okay, this is
everybody,
the
and I
thing.
just wanted to
This is the
clarify
thing,
that.
guys. This is the thing. The most important thing is we're working Mary Kay. I don't really care. I mean, you need to be fair to everybody else that's in the thing, but the whole point is that we're working and we're selling Mary Kay. That's the reason why we're doing it. Now, if it's really important you to be first and you want to be reco with everybody else, I mean, try to follow that, but I'm not going to say you absolutely cannot turn it in if you do the 1st to the 7th, as long as you do the same number of days. I'm okay with that. But I'm like, I think the main thing is that we're working. I think that's, I don't want us to get too caught up in, who's cheating, who's not cheating, and who's doing it this way. I'm okay with it as long as you guys are working and you do it in the same amount of time frame. 7 days, 7 days. It's fine. But does that help? Does that make sense? Okay, go ahead.
I have a question. Maybe I'm confused, but you said the Epic thing is on June the 10th? What's on June the 10th?
Yeah, okay. So there's an Epic week. That's
Right.
the 7th through the 14th, where we're counting those 3 things that are on the list, okay? But
Right.
on June 10th at 7:30, we're doing a Zoom event.
Okay.
Okay, we're doing a Zoom event that you can invite guests to.
Okay.
And we're going to be showcasing a lot of the new products, but we're also going to be doing like a whole segment on sunscreen because it's summer. So I don't think we're going to do the men's products. If you guys kind of want to know what products we're doing, if that helps you decide who you want to invite, we will do, I can tell you what we're doing if you guys want to know, if that helps you know who to invite, like if that's helpful to you. She sent me the rundown today. And so we are going to keep it at 30 minutes like we have in the past. But last time we went 10 minutes over. If your guest wants to stay, they don't have to stay on. But if they want to stay on for the extra 10 minutes, then their name gets in the drawing 10 more entries for for the free prizes for just staying on. So what we're going to talk about is there's going to be a segment on SPF. So like all of our products that have SPF, there's going to be a dash out the door look, and they're going to cover the new lip oils. And then we're going to do a short segment on the new Confidently You perfume and the lavender and coconut. So that's really all we're going to do. And give prizes like a lot. And then at the end, they'll explain how they can get the prizes if they purchase, if they book with you, if they're interested in the opportunity. And then they will, if they want to stay on, I think what she's going to do is interview a couple of directors and ask them questions about Mary Kay for about 7 minutes. And then they get their name in the drawing for extra, for like extra 10 times just for staying on for that. But they don't have to if they don't want to, because that makes it 40 minutes. So if that kind of helps you decide who you want to invite and how you want to invite them, that's kind of the plan. So it either lasts, and there will be, I believe she's going to do an early bird drawing as well. So they're going to be a free prize if they get on between 7:20 and 7:29, just because it's easier as people are getting on. If not everybody gets on right at 7:30, she'll do an early bird drawing as well. So if your person wanted to get on at 7:20 to get into the early bird drawing, and then they stay for the 10 minutes after. It could be, 50 minutes long for them. So does that help kind of get an
Were
idea?
you, were you going to tell us what Kathy bought? You started to tell us she went shopping and got the prizes.
Yes, so the different things that she has purchased today, I believe, are a earring set, a satin pillowcase set. The earrings are like a sterling silver sea glass that are like little dangly earrings. There's like a bag that they can get their initial on. It's a beach tote bag. So I guess she'll get their initial on it if they're the winner. And then there's a little straw clutch summer beach bag. And I think that the big prize is going to be an ice cream maker.
Mm.
So if that kind of helps you. And then if we get we're checking with 2 other directors. If we get any more money, then we'll throw in an Amazon gift card.
That's great.
Does that
Really?
sound exciting and fun?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, okay.
One more.
Okay.
I just want to make sure I get this straight. So at June the 10th, it's at what time?
7:30 p.m.
That's what I thought.
Yes. So we won't have a meeting that night, because when I've tried to do a meeting
Fine.
before that event, it
Yeah,
just was
that's
too
not,
much.
Yeah,
So
that's
we
good.
will just do that event
Okay.
that night at 7:30 p.m. It'll be on Roxy's Zoom. So when I get that flyer updated with the pictures of the gifts, I will put that flyer out there that you can send to your guests, and it'll have the correct Zoom on it.
And
It won't be the one we're on every Tuesday. Does that help?
Yes. Did you say that you're showing all the products that have SPF in them? Is that what you said?
Yes, we're doing
Okay,
a
I just
segment
wanna
on
make sure
SPF.
that-
We're kind
That'd
of
be
making
great.
it all summer related.
that's
And I
great.
think Brenda Austin is going to do the segment on SPF. And that's good, because she's like really smart on all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, that's good. Okay,
is that
yeah.
good?
because-
Is there any more questions? I want to make sure I'm not confusing anybody. Do you guys feel good about all of that? Okay. All right. I just want to make sure. Okay. All right. If anything else comes up, or after I post it, if I haven't been clear, tell me. I'm like, and we'll make sure that I get it answered, because I know some of you guys have participated in the past when we've done those, and some of you haven't. So I want to make sure. Okay, so I was thinking today, we have these trainings and we have some really good trainings sometimes, and sometimes we talk about things and then we move on to something else the next week. And I feel like sometimes we go back to what we learned, and then sometimes we don't. And so I feel like sometimes it gets kind of confusing, because we're talking about this and this and this and this, and sometimes we don't circle back. And so it made me think today that I wanted to go back. I don't know, some of you guys that know me well, I always have a new notebook every year. I start the notebook on July 1st when we have the new seminar year. So I have 15 of these books from all the different years. But I went back to the beginning of this year because I thought, what all have we been learning? And have we really learned this, but we didn't really implement it, or, just different things like that. So that was kind of what was on my mind. And also just my own personal business. I was trying to figure out, what do I need to focus on? And then maybe that could possibly help you guys too. So I'm going to circle back to a few things today that came back way from last seminar. And it's really kind of funny, the things we learn that we think are so profound, and then we might implement them or we might not. So I wanted to go through some of that and revisit some things. And also I was thinking, we have 1 month and 1 week left. 1 month and 1 week left of the seminar year. So some of us may feel like we have some momentum going, and some of us may feel like we don't. I don't know where you are, but it takes 30 days to build momentum and 90 days to build a movement of whatever our goal is. And so I would love to know from you guys. Do you feel like you have momentum going right now, on any one particular area?
Mm-mm. Nope.
No.
I was, and then I had a big glitch last week, so I didn't do anything this week, but I'm continuing handing out the doing the warm chatter thing. But
Yeah.
I wrote down that this week definitely tomorrow afternoon I'm going to do the facial boxes, and I have 4 places to put them in, and I just never got around to making up. I had this little thing right here. Can you see that? It's
Yeah.
just a little, so I wanted to type the thing that goes in there and then put it up there so that they know and it look pretty. And I'm going to give a $15 gift certificate if they have a facial, and it's to that place, to wherever they're,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
and that way they'll, might be more apt to try to get a facial and stuff. But do you think that's right? Just like if I put it in the nail place that I'm doing, so for instance, okay, should I put that down for anybody to do that? Because somebody might want a $15 gift certificate there, but so they'll have a facial and they don't, you know what I mean? Is that,
So I'm confused.
you worry
How do
about that?
if they put their name in your box,
To
they
get a
get a
facial,
facial with you?
they get a $15 gift certificate for the place. That
Everybody that does a facial with you?
each person that has a facial. Yeah, that's a little,
That's too much. You shouldn't do that.
okay.
You're going to be paying for everybody's nails and you're not
That's
going to
what I
get
was
any
afraid
sales.
of. That's why I asked you that, because I was thinking, gosh, anybody, oh, and there might be some
Well,
things
you
I
could
don't want to go
do,
to either.
I mean, I would rather, if I were you, I'd rather just give Mary Kay. But if you feel like those people would be like if they want you, if they're okay with you putting the box in there and you feel like you need to give them something for that, you could do one drawing a month or something for the nail place. Where
Oh, okay.
you know what I'm saying? I
One
wouldn't
of
do
the
it for
people.
everybody.
Okay. Well,
Okay,
because I was giving a $10 gift certificate in Mary Kay if they have a facial, and when I was at the vendor events, I said 15. And so that's worked out. I had a couple of them and they bought more stuff, and things that they will order again, I'm sure. So that's what, but I heard that from Heather Daniel Kent to
okay.
do the gift certificate for there, but maybe she lives in a high-end city or something. I don't know. Or she has more high-end people that would, not just anybody would come along and do a facial because they're going to get a gift certificate. I don't know why she did that, but that's where that came from. That's why I said
Okay, okay. Well, and Jody put in the comments, if the person has a facial, um, potentially you could give it to them or put everyone a gift certificate in the month of the draw one for the
that. Okay.
certificate. You
Okay,
know,
that'd be
so
good.
you could, I feel like that's a lot because if you're giving Mary Kay to them and you're giving them,
Well, I wasn't doing both, but that's what
okay.
we had done before without the facial boxes. But now that's why I was wondering about the facial boxes. It would be one or the other,
Yeah,
not.
I mean, I would be okay giving a certain amount, like one item free from Mary Kay or a $15 gift card for Mary Kay, but then maybe, like Jody said, like once a month, and then say one person of all the people that, like, make sure they have the facial within that month. So whatever month they have the facial, you're
Okay,
doing a
that's good to
drawing
put
that
down
month
there.
because you
Okay,
could potentially book, you could get their name in May, but maybe you don't actually book them till June. I
okay,
wouldn't give them the other thing unless they actually had a facial with you first.
okay,
And you could do one a month, and say,
okay.
everybody that has a facial with me this month that comes from this nail salon, then one of you is gonna win, you
Put
know.
your name in a drawing for
Yeah.
$20 today.
I would
Okay,
try that first before I
that
would
sounds
give all
better.
that.
I mean, because I was worried about spending a lot of money
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
getting
No,
a
I
lot of
think I would
results.
try that first and see. So,
Okay, gotcha.
okay, that's me. I mean, I feel like you'd be giving away too much.
I
So,
have
Okay.
a, I have a very different opinion, but I'm not going to say it. I don't,
oh, You
I
think she should give one to everybody?
I would do if you meet a brand new customer and they sit down and have a facial with you. The idea is hopefully you're establishing the right relationship. You're going to get a little sale. I would lower the gift certificate to $10. So
Okay.
basically, you're paying $10 if somebody meets with you and has a facial for a real lead, and then it's really your job to kind of solidify them as a customer and get a sale. So $15 is a lot, but like I think you get the opportunity to sit down with someone and sell them and have them become your customer. And if you're
Oh.
giving away a $10 gift certificate to a salon, to me, that's not overdoing it at all.
Well,
But you
the thing of it is,
confident.
I've seen some of these people that walk in the nail salon, and I'm not sure I would want to go to their house or, or something sometimes. Or, you know, they might just, these are the kind of people that might just do it for that and then not buy anything. And that's where I was getting at, because
Well,
not everybody's a upstanding person that I would like talk to in the store. You
okay.
know, that's my only thing.
I
Well,
feel if you're trying to like get a cold lead, people you don't know, and you want them to book with you, you
Yeah.
gotta, it's gotta be something that's middle of the road, something that's not gonna put you in, back financially terribly, but
Right.
something that would cause them to want to meet with you. So a $10 gift card is a very nice thing, especially to a place they like to go to. That's a
Mhm.
new idea for me. I've never thought about giving a gift card to somebody else's like nail salon or whatever.
Well, I think that that's why Heather wanted to do it so that the places would take the facial box. You know,
okay. Yeah.
it's why she said, I'll give us a gift certificate for this place. But I think maybe,
Well, you could try it both ways and see
yeah.
where you come out. I mean,
Well, you know,
I've
in the
never done
where
it,
I have
so
my hair done, that's a better clientele usually,
okay.
and stuff. With the nail place, I've seen all kinds of people walk in there, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
They look like welfare people with tattoos all over them and stuff, and they're getting their nails done, but they don't look like they wear makeup or would want to. Their hair's not done and their clothes aren't good and stuff. And I kind of look at the all over person when I personally pick somebody out in the store. And that's just what I was worried about, getting like maybe somebody who wouldn't,
Yeah. Well, I think you could try it both ways and
maybe
see how it works.
even out and then
I
get
mean,
good
I
with the
agree
bad.
that, when you can get someone in front of you, but when I meet people cold call like that,
Mhm.
I don't always get, I mean, and maybe that's my expert, maybe that's on my bad, but just because I meet with someone and get them a facial, um, they don't necessarily all turn into customers for me because sometimes they just want their freebie. So
Yeah.
it just depends. But, and Dawn's right. You're hoping to get in front of them maybe, but I have had experience where they get some vendor events and stuff. They win, they come and get their free facial and I give them $15 off and they take their $15 off and I don't see them again. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So it just depends, but you could try it
Well,
both ways and see what you think, but that is
I
a
was,
new
yeah,
concept for me too. I
yeah.
haven't ever done it like that.
Well,
So,
I'll let you know how it goes. I think maybe I'll do that in the nail salon with the coupon and in the hair salon with the coupon, in the nail salon not, and we'll see what happens.
okay. Yeah. Okay.
I'll let you
Let
know.
us know. Yeah, and if anyone else tries that, let me know how it goes. So, because that isn't
Never,
something
we
I've
can't buy
actually,
groceries this week because I spent no.
yeah, you want to be able to buy groceries. Okay, so all right, interesting information. Okay, guys, so that's good. Okay, so when I was thinking about it, I was thinking as a unit, we are tracking new faces and new active team members. And so we kind of have been focused on that, but I would love to hear if from you guys, what is your one singular focus? Is it new customers? Is it more sales? Is it, what do you have a singular focus or are you just trying to sell more in general? I'm just curious. And if you think if you had a more singular focus, would that help you move forward?
Good question.
Okay. Any thoughts?
I mean, that's kind of why I'm up in the air. I have so many ideas in my head and so much I want to do. And my dining room, I turned to Mary Kay room, has been a mess for a month, but since I wasn't having company, I just came in here, did what I wanted and you know, back and forth. But I always have so much going on, you know, like people work, but I almost think I'd be better if I worked part-time somewhere. I would be a little more, you know, watching it because I just kind of, well, I can do that tomorrow because I didn't do that today.
Yeah.
And I need to get away from that and say, nope, this is what you plan to do today. You've got to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I got 3 things to do. And one of them was I have relatives in Oklahoma or someplace that I just met. And I'm going to try
Oh,
to get all of them and get them to have other people and stuff too.
yeah.
So we'll see.
Well, I mean, you do have to do multiple things in Mary Kay, but I think, you know, one of the things I kind of talked about in the Sisterhood of Success a little bit was that tracking one thing does kind of help that one thing grow. So that's kind of why we've been looking at new faces, because I feel like several of us, some of us are brand new, and some of us, we've been in Mary Kay for a while. And so we can kind of get a little complacent with our current customer base. And so I think it is good to kind of have a focus on new people. But that may not be exactly what you need. I don't know. But I was looking at a couple of stats of, and this kind of had an impact on me when I rethought about this. This is not a new thing, but I have a lot of customers, but I was looking at how many of those customers are on a full skincare set. You know, and that, because it's made me think about that a little bit because, you know, like as cream to powder has gone away, I thought, gosh, I've got a couple of customers. That's the main thing they buy from me, you know, and that happened with me
Yeah.
with mineral powder foundation, where that was the main thing they bought from me. And then I kind of just let that be. And I'm like, even though maybe I facialed them, maybe they were on the skincare for a while and then they got off, and I have, you know, 200 and something customers on my PCP, but if I've got, you know, not, if they're not all on skincare, and there may not all be, but I thought maybe I need to have more focus to make sure that they're all on skincare. And so if you think about it, if you have 10 customers on skincare sets, just 10, and I think that would pay completely for your Mary Kay. So even those, some of us have bigger goals than that, but even some of our consultants that maybe just really want to do this on a really part-time basis, what if they went really focused on getting 10 skincare customers? So always their product is paid for. I mean, I have one consultant on my team. She has one customer who's on repair, but she's a very faithful repair customer and she uses it faithfully. And so every time she reorders it, it almost pays for my consultant to do her order of 225 wholesale and get the stuff she wants from one repair customer that's very faithful. So if you think about having, you know, 5 repair customers or 10, you know, I thought I need to personally relook at that. And if you think about this, say you have 100 skincare customers. If they spent $1,000 a year, and they might not, but say they were getting a new skincare set every quarter, maybe a couple of other things with it, that would be $100,000 per year. If you take your profit on that, that's $40,000 a year. So when you look at the numbers, you're like, there's a lot of value in having good skincare customers. And so that's made me think that needs to be more of a focus as I'm working with customers. And, you know, a while back I told y'all, and you guys were so nice, none of you said, Angela, show us your layering sheet. Remember when I said I was going to use the layering sheet and you guys were going to be my accountability? And none of you guys said, hey, Angela, I need to see your layering sheet. I haven't done very well with it. In my mind, I was thinking as I got new customers, I would add them to the layering sheet. But what I rethought about today was, why am I not putting every single person that buys something from me on that layering sheet? Every single person. Because if I've had a customer for a long time, have I ensured that she is using a skincare set? Is she using all the right products? Has she done the skin analyzer app? Have I invited her to the Zoom event? I mean, like, you can kind of get in a rut with some of your reorder customers. They just reorder. And my birthday program, which Laura's really doing the birthday program, that does encourage me to make sure that once a year I'm saying, you need a refacial. And they get a discount if they come their birthday month. They also get a smaller discount if they just purchase, but I send out a text at the beginning of the month saying happy birthday month, and you get this if you come in for a facial. I have a few customers that like know that now because I've been doing it for several years, and they're like, oh, I'm so excited to get my facial. And they always find more products that even though they're getting lookbooks, they don't even realize we have a certain product or how that product works or whatever. So it's always valuable. But I figured out too that sometimes towards the end of the month, I need to make sure I'm following up. Have I followed up with all of those birthday people and made sure they truly didn't want a facial, or did they just forget they got that text from me and they never got back with me? I just need to make sure that I'm doing that. So that is one way I try to get them all in for a refacial. But I thought too, one of the things that I wanted to implement this year and I didn't was, Heather Faring. A lot of you guys know who Heather Faring is. She's a very top seller in our company, and she is a director, but I think she sells almost her whole unit amount. She's from like South Dakota or somewhere, very, out in the country. And I started following her on Instagram a while back. If you guys don't follow her, it's great product knowledge. I mean, you'll learn a ton about the products just following her, but you'll kind of see how she talks about the products with her customers. And you spell her last name Feiring, Heather Faring. So one of the things that she says she did, and I thought I used to kind of do this, and I again didn't stick with it. So but she does, in the reorder bag, she does product fact sheets with samples. And it does cost you to print the fact sheets out. Or cost you ink or whatever. You could just put samples in there, but she likes to put the actual product fact sheet. Now, some people are probably not going to read all that, and then some people are. But so you could kind of decide. Do you guys know now that you can get all the product fact sheets if you go to ordering? You go look at the product in ordering, and then it'll say product fact sheet down there. That's where all the product fact sheets are for each product. And I was looking today, they have taken some samples away, but we have a lot of skincare samples. You can do the whole Mary Kay skincare set. You can do the repair set. You can do the Time Wise Miracle set, and then a lot of the supplements related around those products. So I thought for those customers that are just buying cream to powder, I need to be putting in a skincare sample. I also, way back during COVID, I created little sheets that could go with each skincare set that gave them instructions on how to do it. I'm happy to share that with any of you guys if you want them. And so it wasn't the full product fact sheet with it, but it gave them, it was kind of when we were creating all those little things that we were mailing, but I have one for repair, clear proof, which we don't have clear proof samples. But I think I do have a little sheet for that for Miracle set. And then I would probably have to go back and remake it for the Mary Kay skincare set. But those are kind of handy too. And I thought, I've just gotten out of habit of giving those to customers. And I thought, because my goal should be more skincare customers. I thought if I tried to make that kind of a singular goal with not only just servicing my customers, but then making sure that keeping that in front of their face, that skincare is really important, and I want them on skincare. Now, I'm not going to pressure them onto skincare or anything like that. I mean, because customers definitely want to be heard, and I want to, seen and valued. So I don't want to pressure them, but I also it's a disservice to them if I'm not offering our skincare sets, right? So, and I have a tendency, if it's maybe someone that doesn't come back in every year for skincare, a new facial, maybe I'm not revisiting with them skincare often. And even offering to have them do the the skin analyzer app. I mean, I sometimes I do little things with that and then I don't. I'm like, so I thought the layering sheet might be helpful to me because it has all those things on there. So for each person that's buying from me, I need to evaluate, okay, when's the last time they had a facial? Have they ever done the skin analyzer app? Do I want to talk to this person again? Maybe it's been 5 or 6 years since I've talked to them about the opportunity. You know, sometimes people tell us no, and then we just leave it. You know, Cindy Venable was my customer for a long time before she ended up being a consultant. When I recruited Elizabeth Taylor, she had been my customer for a long time. Sometimes things change in people's lives and then they're ready to be a consultant. You just never know. So anyway, those were just thoughts I had. I will repost the layering sheet. Is anyone else using the layering sheet regularly?
Don't you have to have regular sales to use the layering sheet?
Well,
I'm trying.
it's helpful. And you know, this is the other thing. If the layering sheet doesn't float your boat, like if that's not where you want to, you don't have to use it. It's really, I feel like whatever works best for you, but I do feel like there needs to be some kind of focus on one thing that you're really focused on, one or two things, you know. And I know I give you guys a lot of ideas, which I don't want to confuse you with that either. So even as we're talking about the epic week and we want to sell as much as we can, I gave you a lot of ideas last week, and I don't want it to be a confusing thing. I want it to give you ideas so that you can pick what you feel like works best for you and you utilize that. So any thoughts on that? Because it's at 6:42, so I want to make sure I have time to.
Is the layering sheet on there somewhere, or do you have to?
Yes, if you go to my Facebook page,
Yeah.
or the Motions Bright Stars Facebook page,
Mhm.
if you go to files, a lot of the things I have are on there. Okay, it's not listed in files because I probably didn't put it on there as a PDF. I probably put it on there as a picture. So it's hard to find under photos. I will try to put it on there. Let me make myself a note. I will repost it, but I'll try to put it on there as a PDF, because if I put it on there as a PDF, it goes into that files when you
Okay.
go into Motions Bright Stars, and then you can go find anything you're looking for. And so
Okay.
sometimes that's easier than finding it if I post it as a picture, because we post so many pictures in there. So I'll
Okay.
try to do that. If I can't do it as a PDF, I'll repost it as a picture. But anyway. Oh, let me see what Jody said here. Okay. Yeah, Jody said, I say I will, then I don't. It's a tools to stay focused to make sure that you're giving the opportunity to touch customers in every area. It could also meet their personality. That's right. So if you want to use it, try it. I told y'all I was going to do it for 90 days so I could really see if it helped me. And then I didn't. So I was the same, Jody. I said I will, and then I didn't. But I am going to try it with every single person that's buying from me to just see if I can definitely put more focus on skincare. And then let's, see what happens from that, because I feel like that's important. So next week, I want to revisit, I'll tell y'all, I do want to revisit a little bit and this is in the files on our Facebook page. I want to revisit our the values exercise and the values hierarchy exercise, because that was from this guy. I was reading this book, and I will, because at 6:45, I will cover this next week, but we're going to talk about consistency, but we're also going to talk about what is important to you, because not everything is the same for all of us, right? Not all of our priorities are not all the same. So I think we looked at that for a couple weeks, but we didn't go back and look at it. And I just think it's really important to know why we're doing Mary Kay, and if we're have our priorities in our life in the right way. And then I want to tie that a little bit to what we learned from Callie regarding time management and how we spend our time. And so how does that mirror each other? And also, work with consistency so that, because anything we do in our life is important to be consistent, whether it's exercising, eating right, making our bed every day, whatever it is, you know? So Mary Kay kind of falls in that same category. And we can sit where we are and be okay with that if that is what's okay with us. But most of you guys that are on meeting, you really want more than where you're at. And so, how do we move from being just complacent of, you know, this is what we're doing to want, you know, being consistent with our work and getting better results. So I kind of want to talk about that next week. So if you guys want your challenge this week in your free time is if you want to go to that file and re-look at that. Like if, I don't know if you took the time to do that before, but if you didn't, I would love for you to do that. And I would love for us to kind of share, because I don't want it to be just about me, but yes, Christy, that was before you. So if you go, I'll email it to you and you can look at it. And I think it was right before you started coming to our meetings. And so I will send that to you. And this, it was just the same author as this book gave me kind of like a worksheet. And so that was what I have put in there, Christy. So you guys can do that worksheet. And then we'll kind of talk about that next week and revisit that and talk about consistency. So I don't know, hopefully this was a lot of me thinking about what I need to do, but I was hoping it was helpful to you guys to kind of think about a singular focus. What can you track? How do you want to track it? It doesn't have to be the layering sheet if that doesn't float your boat. I just haven't decided if it floats my boat or not. And I feel like I haven't given it its due to figure that out. And so I'm telling y'all again, you can hold me accountable and say, Angela, where's your layering sheet? And so maybe that will help me stay accountable. So any other thoughts or questions or anything before I go wash my face before 7?
Nope. I'm good.
Excellent.
Anybody else?
I'm spoken what it was about. Nope. You need to go wash your face.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. And then if you all just can get back on just a little bit before 7, I'll go wash my face really quick and then I'll get right back on. And then I think it may stay recording even when I stop it, but, and then we'll do that. Okay. Does that sound good?
Okay.